Thanks again for joining us here on this Conference USA Tip-Off Show. I'm John Schriffen, pleased to be joined by Western Kentucky women's basketball head coach Greg Collins, who now enters his 5th season at the helm. Coach Collins, thanks for joining us. How has this offseason been for you?
Oh, it's been a good offseason. We added a few new players to the team and had a successful summer trip, and now we're just getting geared up for the season like everybody else and looking forward to it.
Nice. Got to ask you about the health of your freshman of the year, Maya Meredith. I know your season got a little derailed after she went down with an ACL injury late in the year. How's she doing?
She's doing well. She's on track. She's still, obviously she's coming back from ACL, and that's not, you don't pick up where you left off. So she's working every day. She's getting stronger, good range of motion, playing a little bit right now. And so, at some point she'll get back to full speed. And we're pleased with her progress and real encouraged by how hard she's working.
You had a ton of freshmen last season, so many young, new faces. How have they grown up and developed now here heading into their second season?
Well, you make a lot of progress between your freshman year and your sophomore year, and some of that progress is on the court, but a lot of that progress is off the court. It's just getting used to, college life, getting used to managing your time, getting used to managing your rest and your recovery, getting adjusted to the pace and the intensity and the physical play. And so a lot of that is just now, it's not the unknown anymore. And so, those freshmen, they're all doing well. They had a good summer, and I'm expecting them to have a good season this year.
So you have 4 starters who are coming back to the lineup this season. Tell me now, as a coach, what you can do as your players are now getting more mature and developed.
Well, we pick up someplace further down the road than where we started last year. We started from, theoretically, from ground zero last year. And so we're further down the road in our learning and teaching process. We're more able to introduce the freshmen and the transfer students that we've added to the team, and they can kind of pick up a little bit faster. So that part of the learning curve is stepped up a little bit higher. Then you just really get some maturity and really some physical maturity, mental maturity just helps.
Tell us about some of those transfers too. You have transfers from Virginia and South Florida. Tell us about your key players coming in and how they fit into the lineup.
Yeah, we're excited about both the young ladies that transfer. Odie Bentoncourt comes from South Florida, played for the Venezuela national team. Good interior player with good athletic ability and skill. We're excited about her really giving us a presence inside that really we relied a lot on Jalen Foster as a freshman last year, and she's sort of an inside-outside player as well. But Odie Bentoncourt, that's kind of where she excels, and I expect her to be a great rebounder for us, a great shot blocker, and she's pretty good at finishing shots as well. And then we're also excited about Leah Pitts, a 6-foot guard, played at Virginia. Really talented young lady, plays hard, gets up and down the floor really fast, able to hit the perimeter shot, but also gives us a great defensive presence and some length. One of the things that we struggled with a little bit towards the end of the season last year when Maya got hurt was defensively. We just weren't quite long enough. And so Leah Pitts is going to help us with that quite a bit.
Tell me about this exciting summer that you guys have had. You went across the seas, you went over to Italy for a trip this summer. How did that go, and what do you feel like your young ladies learned from that experience?
Yeah, the focus of that was really just more as much of a bonding experience for the young ladies and the team as it was to play. Now, we played 3 games. I'm proud of how hard they played. Odie had just, the young lady from South Florida that played, she had just arrived literally the day before we left for the trip from traveling and playing with her national team, and she just jumped right in and played. So it wasn't as much about playing the games as it was spending time, and really one of those learning experiences for young ladies and for the staff that we'll never forget. We enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, played some good basketball, learned a little bit, but really it was a good time just to spend with family and friends and with your teammates.
Awesome. All right, let's take a look at your schedule. Walk me through, starting in the non-conference, what your schedule looks like and what you hope to accomplish with each game.
Yeah, we always try to open up and play some really tough, challenging teams early. We're going to open the season here at home. First game will be against Vanderbilt, then we'll go on the road and play Missouri. And then we've got some return games throughout the rest of the non-conference. We'll play Ball State again. We've got Indiana State again. And then we'll go on the road and we'll travel to New York again. This year we'll play Cornell. And then we have a trip out to California and play Cal Baptist, which may be one of the most challenging teams on our non-conference schedule. So, and we've got some other teams in there as well it's really a tough schedule. I think it should give us what we need the most, which is experience.
Greg Collins, head basketball coach for the women's Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. You're going to be healthy and you add some new pieces. It will be an exciting time to see what the Lady Hilltoppers can do. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coming up next, we will talk to Western Kentucky men's basketball coach Rick Stansberry. He'll be in the hot seat when we come back. Welcome back to the Conference USA Tip-Off Show. I'm John Schriffen, joined by Western Kentucky basketball coach Rick Stansberry. And Coach, we really appreciate you spending some time with us. How has this offseason gone so far for the Hilltoppers?
Well, John, we knew we had to add some pieces, even though we had some good pieces coming back, as we were just thin last year. You know, we only had 6 players, and we lost 2 of those, and a really good Josh Anderson and a Cam Justice. So we had to add some depth and some pieces back, and I think we've done that.
You have 4 starters return. Take me through your potential starting lineup right now and what your coaching philosophy, what you want to accomplish this season.
Well, I think it's very obvious, you know, Dave McKnight back at the point guard, you know, brings a lot of different things. I think the one thing he needed to continue to get better at in the off seasons was shooting a 3-point shot. And I think he's improved that, but same time, he's got to keep doing what he does, getting that ball to the rim. And then you got Jamarion Sharp back, who, you know, led the country in block shots last year and Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he's better. You know, came in last year with no expectations, had really never played, and now he's had an off season to come in with a lot of confidence, so it's made him better. And, you know, I think up to this point, Jarius Hamilton's really been probably one of the most improved players on our team. I think he averaged 12.5 last year, but it was about getting him consistent every day in every game, and he's shown a lot of consistency all summer and fall so far. Then you got Luke Frampton back, a young man that can, when he's on, can really make some shots. So those are the 4 guys that we had returning that really played.
Now, you also have 7 newcomers, including 4 transfers. Now, I know Jordan Rawls is technically a transfer, but he comes back to you guys from Georgia State. Talk to me about the transfers you have coming in and how they fit into the system.
Well, like you said about Rawls, you know, he was a really good player for us his first 2 years. Started as a freshman and played as a sophomore, but really wasn't happy with his role. Transferred and realized once he transferred that that role he had here wasn't too bad. And, you know, and he never was a bad kid for us at all. He's a really good kid that probably made a bad decision at the time, and I didn't hold it against him. We let him back, and he's really been really good for us. You know, we got a transfer from Indiana, Christian Landers, a guard, a combo guard that can do a little bit of everything. Dante Allen, University of Kentucky, a young man that can make shots. And then I think Emmanuel Aycock, a guy from Boise, a kid we got late, was a great late addition. I think he brings a lot of maturity, does a lot of things pretty well for your team.
With the new additions and so many players coming back, how has the chemistry been so far in practice?
You know, John, it's really been well. I mean, it's really been good so far. You know, I believe this. Chemistry sometimes, you know, the higher character kids you have, the better people you have, the easier it is to have chemistry and rhythm. And I think I've really got some high character young men. They all seem to get along. You know, naturally, you throw that ball up. Some guys are not going to play as much as they want to, but that's probably the key to our team. And again, I don't always start the best players. The key to our team is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10. You know, how those guys handle that role coming off that bench.
With the added players and the depth you have now, what are the goals you have set for this team? Like, how high, what's the ceiling for this team?
You know, John, our goals are the same every year. You know, compete for championships. And I think there's no question this team has an opportunity to compete for championship. You know, winning and losing is a fine line, and but we have an opportunity.
All right, let's get into your schedule now. Talk about your non-conference schedule, some of the key matchups, and then when we get into conference play, let's highlight some of those games you're looking forward to.
Well, we open up first game of the year, a really difficult game at Eastern Kentucky. Well, it will be their Super Bowl, their biggest game of the year, and we kind of got that game late, and I didn't have to schedule it. It wasn't a return game. It was a game that I just took, and I took it because, there's no better teacher or thing you can learn from than going on a road and winning and playing. It galvanizes your team, and I believe in this team, and we've got to get us ready to go to the Cayman Islands after that. We open up with a Akron team that won the MAC last year and had UCLA beat in the NCAA tournament, and they returned their whole team. After that, if you get by that one, you got LSU, who's really, really talented, then probably a Kansas State or Tulane in that championship game. We got games at South Carolina. We got to go back to Louisville. Then you get into your conference play, and we all know how challenging our conference is.
All right, Coach, I can't let you go without talking about probably one of my favorite stories so far in the college basketball season. Jamarian Sharp, who has used his NIL money to buy a puppy to, he says, help him get more responsibility and also remind him of his late brother. So I got to ask you about Joker the puppy. What is it like having the newest member on the team?
We talk about responsibilities for players. He needs to have more responsibility. At the time, I didn't know it was going to be about taking care of a dog. So, but it's been good for him. I know the first weekend he got him. His kids wear these Whoop things to kind of, monitor the sleep patterns a little bit. He got the most sleep that weekend. He had that dog any weekend he's ever had because it kept him in his apartment. Now, the responsibility he didn't like was this. When he comes back sometime, that dog leaves a nice little presence for him in a lot of little places. He don't like the responsibility of cleaning that up.
Now, I understand Joker goes to practice, too. What's it like having Joker around the facilities?
Well, I've kept him out of gym so far, but he keeps himself in a cage, either in our training room, John's office, or we put him in the secretary's office while he's at practice. So, yeah, he's become the team dog for sure, the team mascot. Everybody knows about Joker.
Hey, maybe Joker is the good luck charms for the season. Rick Stansbury, legendary coach at Western Kentucky, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, John.